Qatar 2022 World Cup Final. The whole world was saying one thing in that moment. Mbappe carried them alone. He had scored a hat trick in the final, and despite that, he still couldn't win. Why had he lost? Was everything fair? What kind of odds was France fighting against throughout the tournament? What kind of power did their opponents have? How could the best player of that tournament fail to win? You're going to love this. Enjoy the video. On this channel, we talk about the legendary moments of the World Cup. And before we reach those legendary moments, I briefly explain the past so we can feel those moments even more deeply. Before going to 2022, I'm quickly going back in time. Kylian Mbappé was born in Paris in 1998. The same year the future star was born, France won the World Cup. Zidane was giving the world a visual masterpiece. Mbappé grew up listening to the legends of 1998. He always imagined himself lifting that trophy one day. His talent was so great that it was noticed at a very young age. When he exploded onto the scene at Monaco, all of Europe started to recognize him. This man carried his team to the Champions League semi-finals at 18 years old. Only 18 years old. He signed a deal with Paris Saint-Germain, and he announced to the world stage, "I'm here too now." For Mbappé, the national team had always been the most important thing. The 2022 World Cup had finally begun. Mbappé was 19 years old. The tournament was being played in Russia. France became champions. Mbappé lifted the trophy. A man who won the World Cup at 19 years old. After this early success, everyone thought the same thing. This man is going to win this trophy for the next 10 years. Now, let's come to the year 2022. Qatar 2022. France was the favorite for everyone. But before the tournament even started, several of France's most important players got injured. Benzema was injured. Pogba was absent. Kanté was absent. France's squad had seriously lost strength, and because of that, all eyes completely turned toward Mbappé. The entire burden was placed on Mbappe's shoulders. France got through the group stage. Mbappé was making headlines in every match. He was scoring goals. He was providing assists. He was practically carrying the team. They reached the quarterfinals. They eliminated England. They reached the semifinals. They eliminated Morocco. And then came the grand final. Standing in front of them was Argentina, Messi's Argentina. If you watched the first video on this channel, you already know very well what this World Cup meant for Messi. That final was a clash of two generations. Messi was on the final chance of his career he valued most. Mbappe was climbing to the peak of his career. The entire world was holding its breath for that final. On the day of the final, there was an unbelievable crowd inside the stadium, and the entire world was following those moments through their screens. The match started, and Argentina shocked France in the first half. The score was 2-0. They had practically erased France from the field. Argentina was playing perfect football. Argentina was superior in every area of the pitch. But on the other side, there was also the ambition of the new world star. The second half had begun. In the 80th minute, Mbappe scored a penalty goal. The difference had dropped to 1. Just 1 minute later, in the 81st minute, Mbappe scored another goal. He was shouting to the entire world, "I'm here." He had scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, and he was doing it in the most important match in the world. He had turned the match around all by himself. The stadium crowd was holding its breath. Argentina fans were shocked. Messi looked devastated. The match went into extra time. In extra time, Messi said, "I'm here." Argentina had taken the lead, 3-2. Mbappe responded, "Yes, I see you, but I'm here too." And once again, the equalizer came. The score was 3-3. Mbappe scored a hat-trick in the final. A hat-trick in a World Cup final. It had only happened twice before in history. This was the third time. And despite that, it still wasn't enough for victory. The match went to penalties, and France lost the penalty shootout. Now the part everyone is familiar with ends here. The real questions begin. Was that final really played only on the field? The first thing that never got talked about in that final was France's first half performance. France had not played this badly in any match during that tournament. In the first half, they were practically non-existent on the pitch. Passes were failing, positions made no sense, the defense was constantly collapsing. They made an official statement. There were players in the France squad suffering from stomach illness that day. Several players had become sick before the match. That means they entered the World Cup final with sick players. How did so many players get sick at the same time on the day of the final? That remains a huge question mark. France never made a completely clear statement about this subject. Another question was the draw selections. When the groups were determined in the 2022 World Cup, some teams ended up in very advantageous groups. Other teams were fighting in the toughest groups. Let's look at Argentina's path to the final. They lost to Saudi Arabia in the group stage, but afterward the road opened for them. Quarterfinal, semifinal, final. At every stage, the teams they faced were theoretically weaker than them. France, on the other hand, had the exact opposite situation. There was England, there was Morocco, and then the final. Let me make this warning here. I am not making any accusations. In my documentary, I am including the things people are curious about. There was only one question in everyone's mind. Why can't the best player win in this system? Because football is not just a game played on the field. Draws, schedules, referees, organization, all of these introduce the option of luck affecting the result. And sometimes, even if the best player delivers the best performance, they can still lose because of the factor of luck. The last thing people were curious about was the penalties. Penalty shootouts are one of the most controversial subjects in football because a single kick affects a match, a tournament, a victory. That night, France missed penalties, and the players taking those penalties were quality players who had constantly scored goals during that tournament. But penalties are a different psychology. And that night, the French players were not mentally successful. Sick players, a weakened squad, and countless psychological pressures. There were too many reasons to miss penalties. But in the middle of all this, there was Mbappe. And that night, Mbappe was playing the best match of his career. He had scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final. He had carried his team all the way to penalties. Sometimes, even if you do everything right, you still cannot win. Mbappe was experiencing that reality that night, and he could not lift the trophy. This event went down in football history as one of the greatest paradoxes ever. The man who delivered the best performance could not win the trophy. Messi had experienced the same thing, too. That's football. Sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes you cannot win. After that night, Mbappe spoke to journalists. "I'm very sad," he said, "but I will continue." It was a short answer, a simple answer. Only Mbappe knows how he truly felt inside that night. To score a hat-trick in a World Cup final at 24 years old and still lose. What kind of feeling is that? There is no answer to that question. But one thing I can say for certain is this. After that night, something changed inside Mbappe. He became a quieter man. In interviews, nobody could see that old excitement in him anymore. Maybe it was temporary. Maybe it was only sadness. But that night left a permanent mark on Mbappe. Qatar, 2022, World Cup Final. Mbappe carried the team alone. He scored a hat-trick in the final, and still he could not lift the trophy. That night was carved into football history, because sometimes the best performance is not enough. Sometimes, even if you do everything right, you still cannot win. And for Mbappe, that night was the night he learned this truth in the most painful way possible. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.